Hey everyone, once again, this is Barry Carter from the iConis podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in and checking out our show. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. Don't let the show be a secret. And I wanted to come across my adventures and my one regret from the Hamilton ComicCon that took place back in September 22nd. I know that's when I was there. It was a Sunday. I went with my daughter, had a great time. And just like that, you always go to see the big stars. So yes, I got to see the co-stars from the TV show Home Improvement. That was awesome. I got to ask a question. I got to hang with my buddy Zeus, who has Rat GTV. Great to finally meet him face to face. But the highlight for me was you got to walk around the Comic Cons. I find a lot of people go to the Comic Cons right now. They always look for the big stars, and that's cool. We know, we understand that's the draw, right? Who's on TV, what movies being promoted, and of course the wrestlers that you want to see there and get your autographs and get your photo ops for. Support that 100%. But what I found was a little bit sad and my regret, and I'll explain what that is I was walking around on the floor, doing my thing, seeing all the sights, taking it all in like I like to do. And I took a couple of pictures. I should have taken some video. So that's one regret. But then the second regret was I was walking Artist Alley. And in Artist Alley, if I didn't look twice, I wouldn't have known this particular person was there. And who am I talking about? The one and only Bart Sears. I just lost it. I couldn't believe it. I was walking by the table. I saw the artwork on the table in the back. And then I stopped. And I'm walking away going, that art style looks familiar, but I didn't think twice about it. And then I looked down at the table and I saw the name right there, Bart Sears. And I'm like, no way. When I'm looking around now, he wasn't at the table. He stepped away for a couple of minutes and then he came back and he sat down and he was very chill. You know, and people are walking by looking at everything else and he's doing his own thing. And then I said, wait a minute. Excuse me. The sign says Bart Sears. He's like, yeah. Not Mr. Sears. He's like, yeah. Justice League Europe? He was like, yep. And I totally lost it at this point because I have that full run of Justice League Europe. So you had Justice League International when Maxwell Lord first came in. And then they had their spin-off series, which was Justice League Europe, which was Power Girl, Wally West when he was the Flash, Captain Atom, Elongated Man with his wife. And that was the core of the team. Wonder Woman did make an appearance. And it did have all the elements that were there for it. And I just totally lost it. And I couldn't believe that he was right here in Hamilton at the Comic-Con. And, you know, I'm not sure if his table was busier earlier, but by the time I went by, there wasn't really anyone. It was near the end of the day too. So people are getting ready to wrap up. What blew my mind is the fact that he was right there. Now, what's my regret? I turned around and I talked to him for about at least 10-15 minutes. He was so nice to answer some questions and I bought some artwork from him because I had to have that piece. He had multiple pieces. I said, look, which one do you want? I go, look, you got one with Wally and Power Girl because that was always the couple that could have been, should have been, but wasn't, right? Because Power Girl was too standoffish. She was kind of like men are all just kind of, you know, got one thing on their mind. And clearly Wally had one thing on his mind at that time in his career when they were having him being the Flash. So, Mr. West, I'm sorry. I should have asked you these questions on camera. My regret is I didn't get anything. I got some pictures with him. I got the artwork. I supported him, but I didn't get a picture. And any video like I did with Gail and I got and Kaleman. I wish I should have had an interview. So if I see him again, I'm going to ask him that at least see if I can ask him a couple of questions for the channel. Now, if you want to really get into who Bart Sears is, I'm talking about he turned around and he's been drawing forever. So currently his most recent work that he works on is Exo Man of War, which is under Variant Comics, I believe it is. And you got to go and check out that run. If you go to his art is beautiful. Love how he does everything. He does everything like really, you know, exaggerated, not overly exaggerated, but it just fits the tone of the superhero genre, in my opinion. So to give you some tips, he used to do articles in Wizard magazine back in the day, which was called Brutes and Babes, teaching people how to draw and positioning and all that. And each issue always gave you new tasks to do to improve your art style, you know, for the shoulders, reference and all that. And he broke it all down really nicely. And that was a free drawing guide by a top industry professional. As I said, Justice League Europe, get that run. You get his run on there. It's great. You're going to have some laughs. You're going to see some action. And it's really got that Brutes and Babes feel. He did, you know, a couple of issues of Captain America and Falcon. So you got to realize he did that for a few issues before he only wanted to do a short run on it, and then he wanted a different direction. So another artist took over that storyline, right? And once again, very action oriented. So that's another series to pick up in light of, the new Captain America movie coming out where Falcon takes over as Captain America. So I think that's a piece you would see more the dynamic of these two characters. He also worked on DC Invasion, so he's got some ties in there. And I love this miniseries or I think it was a one shot with Sabretooth. So you got to check that out. And I mean, it goes on. The list goes on all his work, Exo Man of War, as I mentioned before. And I can't say enough. He's got the Eclipso stuff. He's done stuff for Wolverine, right? So that he's drawn, like, not just the covers. He's done the interior. He did Blade. So after the second Blade movie, he turned around and he started doing the Blade series. And he never lets me down. So as I always say, you got to support the books. You got to support the artist. And I think that's the thing on my little pet peeve when it comes to ComicCon is everyone goes to see who's on TV. They are missing the artists. So as I always say on our channel, go to your comic book stores. Get those back issues. Not every back issue you got to buy has to go into a vault and you never read it. No, it's supposed to be read. It's supposed to be enjoyed, these back issues. You're supposed to get the collection. It's the fun of the hunt and getting that whole run all together. Support the artist and then let them know you appreciate the work, because I fell off at one point. I didn't realize he was still doing Man of War. And prior to that, I was talking with Rod saying, hey, I wonder what happened to Bart Sears. I don't see any of his work really in Marvel or DC. Shame on me that I should expand my horizon and look more than just Marvel, DC, and Image. There's multiple comic book companies out there, and that was a failing on me. So if you have an artist you like or love their work on, support all their work. Trust me, talk to them about it at the Comic-Con. So when you go to a Comic-Con next time, here's my challenge to all of you. Go and see who you want to see, but then take a walk down Artist Alley. Each one has an artist row, and you'll find indie artists and upcoming artists, and you'll see established artists from the years, and you have no idea that they're sitting there just minding their business, looking for someone to come by and talk to them and see how their work has influenced them and what they hear and the feedback. It's always nice to say, hey, man, you've done a passion project or you've done this as work, and I appreciate that storyline. Give me some tidbits on that. What's going on? What was your influences? What started you in your art style? So if Bart Sears ever watched this video, I would love to do an interview with you to make up for my one regret from that Comic-Con on that day. But until then, remember, this whole world was started by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. And check out a new template. That was done by Jaybird Digital Arts by Jason Reese. So once again, thank you for that. And we will see you soon enough. Till then.